Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today's webinar and demo regarding our new HSA platform is our third update by webinar over the last few weeks regarding our new system. Last week, which was the time when our new system went live, we did an intro and a demo to the new employer portal, the new employee portal, and the new mobile app. If anyone is interested in that hasn't seen it yet, we'll be happy to share a copy of the recording with you. It's a short webinar, but the team did a good job doing the demonstration there. Today, we're going to focus on our new HSA platform. So we've got several groups joining us today, and thank you for your time. We hope this will be helpful to you. First, we've got employers that are currently working with us regarding HSA bank accounts. We've got advisors that work with those employers, and we've got some employers that are interested in our HSA platform and system and card. So that's what we're going to tell you more about today. And to do that, I am here with two individuals that are experts on the new platform. Julie Blink is our VP of Administration, and John Cauble, our Senior Account Manager. So John and Julie are going to talk a little bit about the new HSA platform and show you what it looks like and go through that. They're going to talk a little bit about the transition process. From those of you that have been working with us already on health savings accounts and using the MyRSC system and cards and what the transition process looks like. And we're going to do our best to answer your questions, which we'll do during the webinar, and you're welcome to submit them to the control panel, and we will respond to you during or immediately after the session. You're also welcome to email your questions at any time to service@ProBenefits.com, and we will get back to you as well. Again, thank you for your time, and Julie.
Thank you, Jason. Today we want to show you both the consumer and the employer portal. We're going to start with the consumer portal. I wanted you to keep in mind that we are using this portal as a demonstration, so it is a demo test site, and the particular participant or consumer that we have picked has both an HSA account and a limited purpose FSA. There are 3 points that I want to make to start. There is a mobile app that looks exactly like the consumer portal that we are going to show you, and that is available for all of our account holders. Also keep in mind there is now one card. In the past, if you had an HSA account and another line of service with us, your participant had 2 cards. With our new system, 1 card. So in our example today, there's 1 card for the HSA account, and that also has the limited purpose FSA on it. There is no monthly investment fee for participants anymore. In the past, that has been $1.50 a month for those who have made investments. So in just a moment, we're going to go over and look at the consumer site. Okay, so here we are on the consumer site. I wanted to give a quick overview of that. Notice we have a test system. Emmy Wyatt is our test person. So in Emmy's account, she is able to see quickly her HSA account balance. She has a balance over $2,000 in her account, so she can do investments and has a cash portion that is on the card to spend. She also has a limited purpose FSA, and throughout the site there are question marks if the participant hovers over that will give them the answers to questions they might have. When does my plan year end? When is the final time I can file a claim? Also, there is a task section. This tells Emmy that she has receipts that she needs to submit. On her limited purpose FSA, she went to a provider that she needs to upload information to us on, and there's a reminder to do that, along with an email notification that she received. Also, it reminds Emmy that we need your direct deposit information so that we can reimburse you quickly. If you pay out of pocket for something and file a claim, this is the reminder that we need that quick. Also, recent transactions are readily available for Emmy. Always she will see the last 3 transactions that she has made. And then down here in the quick view, there's just helpful consumer information for Emmy. So now I'm going to hand over to John, and he's going to talk about the I Want To button.
Thanks, Julie. So most of the consumer interaction is going to be in the I Want To section here. As you probably saw in the previous demonstrations, the File a Claim button in this case is going to be for Emmy. She's going to have the option to file a claim with either her FSA or her HSA. You'll see that there's 2 options under the Pay From, and in this case, we're going to select the HSA. From the HSA, Emmy also has the option to reimburse herself for an expense or to pay a provider. This is only an option through the HSA and not through the FSA. Under the next button, the Make HSA Transaction, this is going to be similar to file a claim with regards to entering claim information, but this is also where Emmy could make a contribution to her account outside of the scheduled payroll contributions we're going to talk about here in a little bit. The Manage Investment button, for those consumers who want to invest their HSA, as Julie mentioned earlier, you have to have $2,000 in order to do that, but it gives a breakdown of that portfolio and where Emmy has her all of her allocations made there under investments. Finally, the Manage My Expenses button is going to be a broader view of the recent expenses. This is like the Claims Vault, for those of you familiar with the previous site, where Emmy can enter a claim but not yet have it paid. So you'll see this one dental claim here has a pay button. She has saved that claim and then later can go back and use her HSA funds to pay that. Now we're going to look at the employer portal, and I'm going to turn it back over to Julie to get us started there.
Thanks, John. On our last webinar, we went into a lot of detail about information that the employer can see on the employer portal. For today's demo, we wanted to focus on how to schedule those HSA contributions to go to the account. So if you, the employer, logs in and you go over here to set up contributions, what we want to do is to set up a new schedule. So this is the first time that we're funding our HSA, so we're going to set up a new schedule. One thing to consider is you have two options. You can fund your HSA account every time you have a payroll, which is the current way that you're doing it, or there's a new feature called reoccurring, and that will allow you to set up one schedule that you only have to maintain. So if there is no changes, everything will automatically happen as far as the funding to the account. So for today's example, we're going to pick a reoccurring HSA schedule to set up, and John is going to be my employer that I'm going to ask his payroll cycles to. So John, what is the first payroll that you want to fund from the new platform?
We're going to start my payroll on June the 14th, which is the Friday before the 15th.
Okay. And John, what payroll cycle is your group?
We are on a semi-monthly payroll cycle, but I notice under frequency options, I don't have a semi-monthly option, Julie.
That is correct, but how we're going to handle that is we are going to set up 2 monthly schedules. So to start with, we are going to set up your first payroll of the month, which is on the 15th. And we are going to say we do not want an end date to that. And we're going to enter your HSA payroll deductions manually. So if I hit enter contributions, here is a listing of your employees, and we are going to put in their HSA payroll deductions. Let's just say you have 2 for this payroll. There's a calculate button here that will allow you to balance to whatever you deducted for payroll. For demo purposes, I'm going to hit cancel here. You would hit save if you were setting this up. And we're going to go back and we're going to set up that last payroll of the month. And we're going to do it the last day, meaning if you have a month with 28 days or 31 days, you're covered here. And we're going to go back in and notice I'm already pre-populated with what I had done, and we are going to hit save. And so after I save my contributions, it alerted me that I didn't enter for some, which is fine. You will see that now we have a payroll schedule set up to fund the HSA account. And this is where you would come to do any maintenance that you needed to do.
To get to this screen from the home screen, when you log back in, you would just click on Set Up Contributions on the right-hand side again, and it would bring you to this schedule listing, which will tell you all the schedules you have created. This includes one-time or recurring schedules. If we needed to change this schedule, you'll see over here under the actions, there's an update button, and then obviously the delete button if we want to cancel this schedule. Under the update, you'll see that it takes us right back to the very start, so we can change any feature of that particular schedule, whether we need to change the timing of it or go back through and enter contributions for new new contribution amounts for employees. Now we're going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation to discuss the transition steps.
All righty, so when we think about making the change to the new portal, we consider that there's 2 steps involved in that. The first step is the employer's decision that they're going to start making their HSA contributions through the new platform. The second is the participant decision. So we're going to talk about the employer decision first. Currently, if we have from you, all we need to do for you to start making your HSA contributions from the new platform by the 15th of the month, we'll have you set up by the 1st of the following month. So what we need for you will be...
The first thing is the bank account information. On the left-hand side of the slide, you'll see the HSA banking and plan information sheet. A lot of you have already returned that if you have a current HSA, but it may be incomplete. Some of the information that we're still missing are payroll schedules and when your anticipated first transition date or first contribution posting date is. Your account manager will follow up for details on this with you.
All righty, and after that follow-up has been done and we have that information, we'll need to confirm the HSA accounts to open for the funding. So we'll send you a listing of most likely who you're currently contributing to. Then we will open HSA accounts for those people, and those people will receive 2 new cards in the mail to be used on their HSA. Keep in mind, because of the Patriot Act and banking regulations connected to opening bank accounts, information may be requested to verify identity. The consumer will receive an alert notification to upload any necessary information on the ProBenefits portal. Most of the time, it will require a driver's license for an address confirmation. After the HSA accounts are open, the consumer will have to log into the portal and accept the terms and conditions of the HSA bank account. If we have an ID failure or terms and conditions have not been accepted by the consumer, there will be a hold placed on spending of the HSA account.
A good reminder for all of y'all is that the hold is only restricting the participant from withdrawing funds. You as the employer can still make contributions into the account, and we can help the participant go forward with getting those terms and conditions applied so they can use their funds.
After all of the accounts are open, we will send you instructions on how to set up your HSA funding, which will be texted to the demo that we just did on the employer site.
And if you'd like to schedule a call with your account manager to walk back through the posting contributions, we'll be glad to help with this.
When you start sending HSA contributions on the new platform, they will go into the newly opened HSA accounts and be available to be used within 48 business hours on the HSA cards. Now, let's talk about the participant decisions. So after the employer decides to start funding, then the participant has some decisions if they currently have an HSA account open with us.
The first big consideration for participants is whether or not they want to transfer the HSA. They don't have to transfer the HSA. It's okay to have more than one HSA account open, just like you might have multiple checking accounts open.
My next consideration is all about time. If the employer is paying the monthly administration fee for participants when the employer decides to start funding from the new platform, ProBenefits will only charge 1 monthly HSA account fee per participant until July 2020. And the reason for that is to allow the participant time to decide what they want to do with their HSA account. It may be that they can spend it down if they have a small balance and that may be preferred over transferring the account.
Now, if the participant does want to go ahead and transfer their old HSA balance to the new HSA account, then we will provide a transfer form. You'll see a version of that on the right-hand side of the slide. And then we'll also help with instructions on getting that transfer initiated. The transfer process can take up to 30 days to complete, depending on the financial institutions. And this is where the $25 HSA closing fee will be deducted from that transfer balance. Unfortunately, we at ProBenefits don't have control over the HSA closing fee. This is a banking fee from the old HSA. but it's why we are encouraging the spend down for employee accounts wherever possible so that we can help most employees avoid that fee.
Thanks, John. We hope this has been informative, and we welcome your questions.
Thanks, guys. Before we get into some questions, and we got the team responding to some of the questions that have been submitted in writing, I want to follow up on a couple of things you all just mentioned. Julie, you outlined what the participant decision is regarding open the new account or spend down the old account and what the options are. Am I understanding correctly that if and this is actually a real life scenario, because we at ProBenefits have made the change to the new portal for our own employees for both health savings accounts and flexible spending accounts. To make sure I'm understanding this correctly, if I'm an employee that has had the HSA account with my RSC and HSA today, and I still have a balance in there as of today, my employer is going to allow me to use the new portal. That if I close the old account, let's call it the old account, the My HSA Today, with funds in it, there's a $25 fee to me, which would be basically debited from the balance for that money to be transferred from the old account to the new account. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct.
Okay. What is my other option? If I keep the account open long enough, let's say I've got $500 in it or $700. If I keep the account long enough, John, to use that money, I continue using the account to be reimbursed, will I still be charged the fee if I spend all the money?
That's a great question, Jason. If you spend down all of the funds that are in the account, because the new balance is going into the new account, once that old account reaches zero, it'll naturally close without that closing fee. The closing fee only applies if you move funds out of it to the new account and shut down immediately.
And just to confirm and echo what John said earlier, that closing fee is charged by the bank, by the custodian of the account, not by ProBenefits, and that's one reason we don't have control over that particular fee. Another issue that we've got some good questions about, the cards. You mentioned getting 2 cards in the mail. What name names will be on the card that comes to the participant?
There will be 2 cards sent to the account holder, and both cards will have the account holder name on them. All the dependent spender needs to do is sign the back of it. So I would get 2 cards that said Julie Blink, and my husband would sign his name on the back of one to use. Okay.
Anything else we need to know about the card or any use of that for the new account?
Any additional cards we can certainly issue. All additional cards would still have, in this case, Julie's name on it for dependents. And then just depending on for those folks that have an HSA and the FSA, we've mentioned this previously, but the card will differentiate based on the merchant information what account it pulls the funds out of. So if you go to a medical provider, it's going to pull the funds from your HSA account. If you go to a dental or vision provider, it'll automatically pull it from the FSA account and the system knows which one of those accounts you're trying to pay from.
Yeah, excellent. I know that our staff and the early adopters are excited about using not only the new cards, but also in particular the new mobile app. Any other thoughts about the early experiences that people are having with some of the new facets of the mobile app?
It's just super easy to file a claim or to upload documentation, to have the camera right there in the mobile app and be able to, finish up with your doctor's appointment and make that picture of your documentation in the car on the way out of the parking lot. That's easy. Yeah.
And additionally, having the mobile app that reflects the same website that's on a computer makes it a lot easier to transfer, and understand what you're working with there too. It's not a simplified version. It just gives you all the access that you needed from the platform going forward.
Excellent. Our goal throughout this process, clients, has been to find the best system and the best platform to create the best experience for you as the employer and for your people. We think we have that with this system, and we're excited for you to have access to it and to use it. That concludes the presentation part of the session. What we're going to do now is to shift into question mode. There won't be any more audible question and answer, but anyone who submitted a question, we've responded to a number of those already. You're welcome to submit a question through the question box now, and we'll get back to you. And again, you're welcome to submit one by email as well, now or later. Thank you very much for your time today, and hope you have a great afternoon.